Hi, this is Osman. I'm an energy healer, yoga meditation teacher, and an entrepreneur. Please also remember to visit my website, yogawellness786.com, for further information on my services and discussions on, current day topics on how, these ancient sciences can help you and be applied in trending topics, right, that is being discussed today, as well as being able to connect with me to be able to utilize my services. Also, remember that our therapies, natural healing and energy healing, yoga, meditation, mindfulness practices, nutrition, fitness, exercise, all these are not a replacement for medical treatment. If you have any medical condition, please consult a licensed and qualified medical professional, right? Whether it be physiological or psychological problem, you can connect with them. And that being said, today I wanted to touch on a subject which was something very interesting to me on the subject of the deathless body, right? So when we say the deathless body, there is some claims that there are people who attain very high levels of yoga and meditation, and where they reach that level that they stop aging and they are forever young, and they did not look more than 30 years old or so, and look like a normal, and they are still visible today, and they are walking among us in disguise, right? Not disclosing that they are thousands of years old, so to speak. Just go with me. I'm not someone to say to believe in these things. Neither can I say, that I, believe in it fully. But it's interesting subject matter, right? Interesting from if you got a scientific mind and an inquisitive mind, right? To inquire the possibility, right? The possibility of this, that yoga science claims to have a secret part of it that can help you to attain the levels of attaining a deathless body. And this was amazing. So there is a book called The Deathless Body. I think it is available on Amazon. It used to be available on Amazon over 20 years ago, or 20 years ago or so, around those period. And it's written by a South Indian author, based on the teachings of, I think, Vallalar, a person by the name of Vallalar, considered a South Indian saint who existed or lived in the late 19th century, right? Called Vallalar or Ramalinga Swamigal, and who it is claimed did not die, who disappeared into thin air, right, so to speak. Of course, um, he may have just, slipped out without people seeing, or maybe people were troubling him and he wanted to, disappear, and and people can disappear these days. A lot of people perform the disappearing act, right? So especially when they're running from the law, or running from, um, especially the pursuits of amorous pursuits of, suitors, right? You get these guys that who's not going to let go. They don't take no for an answer. Especially the women, they learn to use that talent of the disappearing act, right? So, but this lot of information said that before he disappeared into thin air, claims, right? Claims that his body start to convert to the deathless body, where if they took a photo of him, that is just his clothing would come out in the photo, but he would not be in the photo. It will be a blank, because he claimed that his body is transitioning into, from a physical body into a light body, and when it's transitioned to a light body, it absorbs the, or attains the quality of light, in the sense that light will not reflect from it. So a photographic camera works on reflection. A flash goes and reflects off the physical objects, and that's how an imprint is formed in the camera. So he did not reflect. He did not have a reflection. Okay, this is going into Dracula and going to the mirror and no reflection in front of the mirror stories, right? So we're delving into this field right now, right? So these are the claims, right? Coming more seriously, right? It's a claim, right? I'm not saying it's really there, but it's not only a claim, because I went into it and I went into the book and I started to go deeper into it and found that there are in the yoga sciences that when you awaken the Kundalini and development of the Kundalini, it increases in energy levels and your body is unable to withstand that height of that energy. So it needs to be incrementally raised in your body, and your body will slowly adjust to the higher and higher levels of the increments. And so to speak, so I'll just use the word so, prefix my next statement with the word so to speak, attain energy level of about 1 billion volts. So if the electricity in the wall socket is 220 volts, your body is gonna reach like 1 billion volts, so to speak, right? So to speak, right? Don't quote me as and don't use a clip that I say you're gonna reach 1 billion volts, right? And call me crazy. And but the energy level is very high, beyond what your body could normally experience. So from my personal experience, so that's why you're listening to my videos, that I've got personal experience in the field, right? In developing my Kundalini or life force energy, right? So I'm just using the word Kundalini, right? It's a Hindu frame terminology, but it's a common terminology that's being used. And I think people got an understanding. It's got a westernized or a modern day place in the English dictionary, right? So we're just using it in that perspective, right? That in developing the Kundalini, that it increases level by level, and initially my body couldn't handle the energy levels, but so to speak, I've attained 1,000 increments higher and still not yet fully developed, right? And so much higher. And imagine the body, the first increment couldn't handle. Now it's handling 1,000 increments higher, because as the months went by, the weeks went by, and the years went by, right? And decades also went by. The level of energy is keep increasing. So what it said in the yoga sciences, the explanation is my body is transitioning from a physical body to an energy body, in the sense, right? In the sense that it can withstand higher and higher energy levels of the Kundalini energy. And by it transitioning to the energy body, it influences the cellular level of every cell of your body and influences the telomeres, right? The genetic epigenetics, right? The study of epigenetics. It like lengthens, not like it does. It does. If you put my cells under a microscope, you're going to find that it's, for someone my age, it's going to be slightly longer than someone who does not practice long-standing yoga meditation. And also the way I feel energetically. I'm 56 years old. I have zero feeling of a 56-year-old in the sense of flexibility or inflexibility, for that matter. I still have the same energy levels as I had in my teens. I can climb a tree, I can climb things, I can hop, skip and jump, I can run up stairs, I can go and play a football match. And I was inspired by some of my teachers who went past 100 years and were able to climb trees and play football with little children, and enjoyed very good health, right? Practitioner. And that was one of the reasons I came into practicing, and why I still practice yoga and meditation regularly. I don't want to feel the inhibitions of old age. I want to be able to enjoy youthfulness and the energeticness of youthfulness in my later years, right? So of course it can be a problem, from certain aspects, that you become too energetic and too much of energy, and you talk nonstop, And wow, I found this YouTube channel a massive relief for my friends. So I finally found someone that I could speak to my camera, that's not going to get tired. And day in and day out, I can speak to my camera. And I found an amazing tool. So really, my friends, I mean, for me to have, I feel sorry for my friend, and really, if he watches this video, he will also laugh at it. That on average, I spend 2 to 3 hours a day speaking to him daily, right? On the phone, right? So of course, I need very big battery levels, and I need the latest phones in order to be able to cope with just my talk time capacity. So when the latest iPhone came out, the iPhone 16 Pro Max, it said that it's got 7 hours more talk time. I said, wow, this is amazing, because I have a massive problem with iPhones always having to carry a power bank with me, wherever I go, because I'm always talking at length with customers and people and clients, and using my phone a lot and chatting, and really using my phone, the smart capacities of my phone to the maximum. And when I reached this phone, I finally found from an iPhone perspective, right? I found something that could withstand my usage. But alas, on occasion, 20% of the time, I do exhaust the battery power, right? And there are some times that I do, and it's just, newly in use, and it's still, the iPhone 16 is just newly released, few months only now, right? The iPhone 16 Pro Max. So the maximum battery potential. So what I'm trying to explain is, the deathless body, or the energy levels, right? The energy body, right, is the first step. So the first transition is to the energy body, and eventually, when you can fully awaken the Kundalini in its maximum energy level, where if someone touches the person's body whose Kundalini is in full active mode, will feel a surge of electricity, like an electrocution, like you get electrocuted. So you will find very common an initiation into meditation or the awakening of the Kundalini, a practice called Sakti Path. Sakti Path, where the person, the spiritual master, will put his hand on your forehead sometimes, or sometimes just transfer it telepathically, or put your hand on your head, and you feel a surge of electricity that will usually the people experience. It's not uncommon that they fell unconscious. That surge was so great. It's a common experience in Sakti Path, right? So there is people who has experienced it, especially from a very powerful, fully awakened, fully developed spiritual master, that he can sustain that. So his energy body is fully developed, so to speak. And as one progresses beyond that stage, I'm just explaining the theory, right? Beyond that stage in meditation science, and develop it even further, the body transitions into a light body, where you start, you feel you are able to occupy your ethereal body more and more, and be in the awareness of your ethereal body 24/7, and you're thinking in that much faster cognitive capacity, and you're experiencing the world very differently from what the normal, more wholly, more holistically, and more energetically. And it says now your body is transitioning to a light body. And there is a second evidence that I read of, where a person, a more modern day saint, so-called saint, right? Because what is a saint, right? Different definitions, different cultures, different perspectives, right? Lahiri Mahasahi in the yoga sciences, he was, there was someone, Paramahamsa Yogananda, who opened the Yogananda Institute in Los Angeles. He wrote his very famous book, Science of Self-Realization. So if you're interested in all these powers and magic, he goes very deep into his interviews with people, because he was also very excited and interested in meeting people with magical powers, and and so forth. So he describes his encounters with these people in the book called An Autobiography of a Yogi, by Yogananda, right? And it's available, very popular book, available on Amazon. You can read into it and delve more into his accounts of it, right? And it's written in a very light-hearted manner. It's not very philosophically written, so it's a good read as well. And you can, I'm not saying to believe everything that is there or disbelieve, but to expand your awareness of what people or the possibilities are, right? Or could be. So coming back to the deathless body, so just by practicing the yoga postures, so forget about energy body and decades of practice and so forth, right? Download just the 5-minute yoga and meditation program from my website, right? In as little as 5 minutes, I created a special yoga program with just 3 minutes of yoga practice that you can practice in your bed and 2 minutes of meditation, total of 5 minutes a day, that you can have an experience, of improvement in terms of feeling calmness, more centeredness from the first day of practice, right? And then if you can experience something positive, it's a very subtle experience, but a definite experience, positive experience from just 5 minutes a day. Imagine the possibilities, that it can hold to practice it more regularly for as little as 5 minutes a day up to 20 minutes a day. You don't have to cut out 1 hour of your life, right? Simple 20 minutes a day practice or as little as 5 minutes a day, consistently is going to bring about improvement, over a long period, 5 to 10 year period, in your state of youthfulness and striving towards the deathless body, right? Or forever young, right? So yes, I'm of course, I'm not under any illusion. I know I'm getting older. I look older as well, but I don't feel that. And I'm not getting sick regularly. I don't get the flu like the regular people. I don't have any joint pains. I don't have high blood pressure. Or I did have previously a history of diabetes. Of course, currently I'm blind from glaucoma, and that is from pushing myself to the worst possible limits a human could push himself to, in terms of working capacity, due to my ignorance of what my experience of the high energy levels were. So now, although I still experience very high energy levels, I still try to maintain, 7 to 9 hours of sleep, which, on occasion I'm naughty, right? Last night I think I did not sleep, right? It was the first night of Ramadan, and so I'm allowing myself that luxury. And I felt I needed to sleep during the day to rest, and I didn't take the advantage of that. Sleep as well, and because I'm not feeling sleepy, and I said, now this is going to danger and going to create scientifically proven. If you sleep less than 7 to 9 hours a day, who you may, genetically is going to cause a problem in your genetics. You are going to have markers, increased capacity or risk to certain conditions like stress, or strokes, or cardiovascular disease, right? Or neuropathy, right? My problem, neuropathy, glaucoma, blindness, permanent blindness from glaucoma, right? I'm permanently blind, currently still working on strategies. I don't accept that I'm permanently. I'm going to either recover my eyesight or, die finding, not fanatically, but researching the latest scientific methods that are available, and also from the ancient sciences, combining the practices and to create, and fortunately, having practiced this, yes, I haven't recovered my eyesight, but I've created so much of improvement in reversing so much of my neuropathy, right? To almost reversing it to a level, I would say more than 99%, right? Not fully cured, right? But reversing it so much. So improving so many other parts of my life, of my body and my health that I didn't know needed improving, but of course, it was a welcome improvement. And so this is the deathless body, look at it from that, not from a hocus pocus, Harry Potter, Harry Houdini, magic perspective of deathless body. That if you are human, you're sure to get old if everything works out normally, right? And you're not, if all things go according to how things should be going, and you statistically should, in a Western lifestyle, reach a male should reach 78 years old and a woman should reach 81 years on average, right? Expected, if you're not harming yourself and, with a regular normal lifestyle, right? So you don't want the latter part of your life when you go on past 40s and 50s to have problems of arthritis. So if you, for example, in your 40s, when I was in school, my high school teacher, when I was in high school, he was in his early to mid 40s, and he used to complain of pains in his fingers. He said, oh, it's arthritis. When you are in your 40s and you reach 40, you're going to experience this pain in your hands, and it's very painful, right? And I never wanted that. I said, oh my God, for me, 40 is, I want to reach 100 years old, right? And I want to be playing football like one of my teachers, right? I don't want to be with arthritis pain at the age of 40, right? Not that I'm an amazing football player. I'm the worst. I'm the furthest from the truth. I like playing the game, but I cannot play it, right? The team will kick me out. Whoever's playing football will kick me out. Right? But I'm very fit, physically fit, and having very high energy levels, and I believe I feel very young, right? And I have symptoms of someone who is very young, in the sense that I have a lot of energy levels and I'm very flexible, right? And hop, skip, and jump up and down the stairs, right? People a fraction of my age, right? When my children were with me, they were teenagers, and we used to walk in malls, and I used to walk rapidly in malls. They used to get tired, and breathless, out of breath. So I felt proud that, I'm in at that time it was in my 40s, and I'm fitter than my teenage children, right? So deathless body, right? Look at it in that perspective, that of course you're going to die. The chance of you dying is 100%, because what's the likelihood? Greater than 1 to 100,000, greater than 1 in 100,000 that you're going to transition to energy body and light body, and people, flashing cameras, and of course then I cannot create videos, right? If of course I don't have the light body, because I'm now recording a video on camera, right? So if I had the light body, I can't even record. It's going to be a problem for me. I would not be able to record videos, right? So I don't have that light body as well, but I have a developed energy body, and I have very high, and in a reality perspective, I have very high energy level, talking non-stop. The way I'm talking now in this video, I'm talking like this non-stop from early morning, 5-6 a.m. non-stop, until very late at night, right? And intermittently trying to catch up some sleep, by force, to try to stick to within 7 to 9 hours. And the past good year, I think I've been good. I've been a good boy, or a good old man, right? And been achieving 7 to 9 hours. I would say just barely making it to 7 hours, 6-7 hours a day, right? From having been 3 to 4 hours for 50 years of my life, or 40 years of my life, from the age of 10 to the age of 50, average of 3 to 4 years, right? Daily sleep. So a very good transition, and I found a great improvement in my health. So the yoga sciences, practicing just the postures 5 minutes a day, you're going to contribute towards your youthfulness and improving it. And of course, you can contact me for further strategies and to hone in, on a step-by-step program to, maximize the potential and to live longer. Some people want to live longer. They love their life. They love their wife. They love their children. They love the family. They love their friends. They love, experiencing their day-to-day life, and they want to live longer. Some, not all of you, I accept. Some of you wish you were dead yesterday. I accept that. And I hope life improves for you from my perspective. right? And I met a lot of people that wish they were dead, and it's just that they didn't believe in suicide and they don't want to kill themselves. Oh, one of my friends, he said, Osman, the only reason I'm not committing suicide is because I lack the guts. I lack the guts for it. I'm afraid to do it, but I wish every day I wish I'm dead. I want to kill myself, and a billionaire, by the way. He's a billionaire, very successful businessman, a chairman for a group of companies. He has a number of CEOs under him. I mean, he owns properties, in some of his homes, across the globe, worth in $50 million and above, and private aircraft and so forth, and it is not happy with his life, right? So don't make money, it doesn't mean you want to live longer and be forever young or attain deathless body, so to speak, right? Deathless body, figuratively speaking, and possibly literally, right? Vague. I mean, you can win the lotto, right? And maybe you'll get the deathless body as well. Or maybe society evolves to a level where we find a method to attain it easily for any person. Or there's a pill that we can pop that can keep you young. Because there has been, in light of what I'm saying, a Japanese scientist called Yamanaka. I can't pronounce his first name, right? I try to practice it, but forgive me. And he won the Nobel Prize, right, in science, because he found genetic factors. There were 4 genes that he injected into mice, and they reverse aged. The gray color whiskers turned to black color, right? And the last thing, the most difficult thing to reverse heal is the optic nerve, right? The optic nerve is almost impossible, and in mice with optic nerve damage, he found that the optic nerve reversed with the Yamanaka factor, right? So they're still doing experiments in science to date to find a safe way to implement it into humans. And just last night, a friend of mine said there was a scientist that found a pill that you could pop that's related to stem cells, that you can swallow it as a tablet. You can purchase it, it's available, and it will replicate stem cells and go and heal and replicate tissues that is damaged on its own. It will go and find the tissue where it's damaged and recreate the damaged tissue and heal that which reverse that which was irreversible, previously. For example, my condition, that's why he mentioned it to me, my optic nerve damage, that I'm blind. But I'm still trying to use my own methods like the energy healing, which also mimics stem cell therapy, right? So I'll discuss that in another video. But coming back to the subject, the interesting and fascinating subject of the deathless body, be sure to, I'm not an affiliate of that book on the deathless body, or neither am I an affiliate on the book of Autobiography of a Yogi by Yogananda. It's just, I'm mentioning it because these are, available online, and it delves into this possibilities, right? Or the bigger possibilities because humankind, we want to advance to the next level, right, of civilization. We are advancing where we're creating AI, and we cannot, I cannot live without them. They've enhanced my life so tremendously. A database of knowledge, a knowledge base that is so helpful. At the tip of my fingers, I can create strategies and find resources to solve my problems, especially someone without eyesight. I can get access to the latest technologies available to help improve my life, right? People who have handicap, they need, technological advancement to improve their independence, in society. So I live alone. I'm creating these videos all alone, right? There's no one living with me. I don't even have a cleaner for my apartment. I clean it myself. And I do everything myself, right, here in my apartment. And just the capacity now, I'm able to, I'm not doing it, but able to walk around anywhere, in public, without assistance of anyone, because my I have, live camera, right? It can identify objects in front of me and so forth. And of course, there is special glasses available that I can wear, and it will tell me the terrain, that there's stairs coming ahead or obstacle ahead, and even read labels. I mean, I can go I can take a walk to the supermarket and take a walk in the aisles and choose and read the labels, right? That's available now, right? Technology. So if technology is, improving so much, why shouldn't you, as your human capacity, explore the possibilities and try to go to the limits that you can, which is what I've been doing, right? And I've reversed so many illnesses in myself over the decades by purely hammering myself with overwork and, or too much of energy, and working on peak performance, beyond peak performance levels, and achieving, high levels and goals. I create a lot of stress, both psychologically and physiologically, and overcoming them, and a lot of damage in my body. I've had over 30 ailments, right, that are reversed. I said I've got a history of diabetes, neuropathy, that I've reversed 99% of it, right? I've reversed it through these natural methods. Had I not gone and delved to the maximum limits of trying to attain the deathless body, right? That is the ultimate, right? That's the direction. But in the way, like we're trying to, so you reach for the stars, but if you landed on the moon, at least you've been to outer space, right? So that's what's happened. I've gained so many benefits. I reversed over 30 I didn't even know I had those illnesses until they went away, right? And in trying to achieve, reverse my blindness, I attained so many other benefits, in terms of peak wellness and my flexibility. It showed in my flexibility in the yoga, because another good thing to explain to you about the yoga postures, the more flexible you are is directly proportionate to your feeling of youthfulness. So yes, I'm practicing yoga for decades, and I can practice all the basic postures, right? And I didn't want to, there was a stage I wanted to go to the contortionist side of the yoga and really take my legs and put it over my head and all that. And I stopped doing that. I said, I am not doing this I didn't find any benefit in doing that, and I felt like I was a monkey, right? I just want to do this to experience flexibility within normal limits and what other people can attain as well with, regular practice, right? So I wanted to be because I'm a teacher as well, and I wanted to be an example that if people see me as a contortionist, they wouldn't be encouraged to practice yoga postures. They'll say that's impossible, and they will not come. But I do think that are possible. And I stayed within that. And by staying that, I became slightly inflexible. I could not practice the contortionist side of it. But as I started to strive further, then I felt I'm getting flexible again in my 50s to the level that I was in my teens, right? So isn't that amazing, right? Striving to the deathless body, experimenting towards that. So I'm opening up the field for you from my perspective and experience, to give you that inspiration and knowledge and passion to, for those that have it, because there's all kinds of people, and there are some of you that are still a child at heart, like myself, still a child at heart, and want to still experiment and delve into things, right? Into Harry Potter, right? And creating magic. I love Harry Potter, by the way. I keep mentioning Harry Potter. Many people, mention, because I do healing telepathically. I said, what is this? I said, no, it's Harry Potter secrets. And of course, it is a science to be able to telepathically, and energetically heal people. And I'm fortunate and blessed to have that capacity, and blessed to have had the opportunity to save countless lives, and live to tell it, and feel blessed with this. And all this was in not directly wanting to be an energy healer. I never start out, okay, I want to be an energy healer, and I didn't want to be a yoga teacher or anything. I just wanted to have good health, right? And just progressed in the field and took it seriously. And I was very excited initially about the magical powers, right? to be able to float. I wanted to disappear, have a invisible body, and go and look at naked girls. And I was still a little boy, right? Okay, forgive me. And now I don't want to see naked girls. Of course, that is weird, right? And of course, I had a very amazing life because I'm sociable in certain aspects, in certain fields, and I have a large proportion of people that likes me, and communicate, and make a lot of friends across the globe, right? And have students and so forth, with striving for the deathless body, right? So many benefits that I attained, in between. So I encourage you to explore the possibilities and explore the practices and enjoy the results. And the results, the side effects of it is a more holistic, better enjoyment of your life, stress-free. When I say stress-free, does it mean I don't experience the same problems that everyone, of course, experience the same problem, but I don't take it like the other people. I take it in myself. Okay, so what can I do? Okay, that's all I can do, and I forget it, dismiss it, then nothing more. I don't let it eat me up, right? Okay, I might become homeless, and when I'm homeless, I will try to avoid it. I will connect with people. I will try not to starve to death and so forth. Unless of course we're fasting in Ramadan, just starving during the fasting time. But and I'm always amazed at how I can fast, because normally I cannot stay without eating. Even people that know me said, but you can't even stay a little. You're always eating all the time, right? How do you fast? I say, I don't know. I just tell myself now I'm fasting, and I manage to do it. Even I'm surprised, that I'm fasting, and it's currently Ramadan, and I'm currently fasting while making this video. It's almost coming time to breaking the fast. And look at the energy level that I have, right? I have amazing energy level in my perspective. So this is what we can attain. So sorry for speaking and rambling along so long and talking so much in my videos and going in circles. And basically I'm creating the videos for myself, and I very often watch my own videos, and I really enjoy watching my videos. I enjoy my accent. I know I have that Indian accent. I'm not from India. There is a Indian genetic forefathers, in my genetic structure, but coming from South Africa, it's impossible, to say, that someone is an Indian race. And also, if we look at things historically, even the people from the Indian subcontinent, you're calling them an Indian race. That's, it has been invaded by so many groups of people, by the British, by the Persians, by the Turks, and Mongols, and the races were mixed, right? So it's a mixed race, right? So what you call Indian is actually colored, right? So from a scientific perspective, I'm not trying to insult anyone, or be. So I don't know, into that racial categories and so forth. But is there genetics? Yes. And so I don't think too much and too deeply, into all those things and problems and and so forth. So I enjoy watching my videos. I enjoy listening to myself. I enjoy the energy that come across, when I listen to myself. And I enjoy my unique accent, I think. It's not purely because I listen to Indian accent, so their way of enunciations or pronouncing the words are a lot different from the way I do it. But I've got like a melody to my voice, like I'm singing my words and my message, like listening to a song, in a poetic or lyrical, like a lyrical manner, right? As well. So that also, I enjoy my life. I enjoy myself. I enjoy looking at when I used to. So the one thing, just a side remark, I'm now blind for 2 years, right? Completely blind for 2 years. And I tell my friend, my poor friend that is at my mercy, that has to forced to listen to me for 2 to 3 hours a day, and very often fall asleep while listening to me. And I tell him, the thing, what, one thing that I miss the most, having lost my eyesight, is he asked what? I said, just looking at my own face. So it's not being vain. It's like I like looking at my face that, I feel proud of who I am and what I've achieved. When I look at myself in the mirror, not that I look great or look bad or look some unique type of, person that has something to admire about, but I admire the person that I am whenever I look. Yes, I've made mistakes, and would I want to change? No, I've become who I am through those mistakes, right? I'm not perfect. I'm a human. But whenever I look at the mirror, I told myself decades ago that when I look at the mirror, I want to be proud of who I am. And that's why I made massive changes in my life. I wasn't afraid to make dramatic changes and change 180 degrees, in things that other people would not have changed. And just said, no, I want to do things, I live my life according to my heart. I live my life according to my heart. And I'm always happy with who I am and what I've achieved or what I've failed in. And when I look at the mirror, I used to enjoy seeing who I see because I'm happy and proud of who I see. And even when I listen to my videos, I think from listening to all the videos, the most interesting and a person that I listen to is my own self, right? From my perspective, that I'm proud of what I say and how I say it and what it took for what I'm telling you now. So much of experience and so much of research and so much of practice, right, went into just the simple things that I'm telling you, right? Blood, sweat, and tears, right? And sacrifices, so much of losses, right? Both in my personal and financial life and emotional life and physiologically, and health wise and recovered, and so much of experience going into behind what I am saying and bring it, to the benefit. And the reason I'm recording these videos is for posterity, that at least you never know who may come across this video at some time in the future and who it may help. And hopefully, it helps you as well. So be sure to connect with me, visit my website for more information on the fields of yoga, meditation, energy healing, nutrition, wellness, and the modern perspective and related topics, relating to the ancient sciences and current trending topics as well in my blogs that I try to do regularly. And I believe, and I really love my own blogs as well. Reading them, it's amazing. I would recommend them to you as well. And visit yogawellness786.com, right, for that, in order to contact me as well. But most important of all, take care of yourself, right? Take care of yourself and take it easy. Tap stop.